Today on Reddington, the city needs more workers and it needs some of them to be highly educated. So we'll add new residential neighborhoods to support our expanding industries, along with a liberal arts college, so we'll have enough English majors and sculptors to manage the offices downtown. Hi, I'm Lee, and welcome back to Reddington, a nice southern town on the fringes of Appalachia. So we have our riverport city here. Got a nice ship going in there to dock. That's sort of a placeholder for how I think the city would have probably started. It would have been a draw because of all the water that we have here. And we've got a little town, we've got a big industrial area over here. And if we take a look at our population and our demand meters here, we have a high demand for residential. So I want to fill that in to start off with because, you know, we have this beautiful little park in the center of town. We have a railroad station and we have all this industry. It would make perfect sense that we would be expanding this in order to take advantage of all of that. So that's what we're going to start doing here. And then I'm going to find a spot somewhere to build a university because I feel like, well, we're having education issues as it is already. If you take a look here, not enough educated workers. This is a level 3 commercial and they want highly educated and well educated at least. We don't have enough of some of these, so we need to get more educated workers because we don't really have any slots for uneducated or educated workers. If you take a look at our education level here, we were doing pretty good on elementary school, so that'll get us up to educated. We have some well educated, which are high school graduates, about 61% here. We don't have very many highly educated. How do we even have any highly educated at all? I'm wondering, because I don't think I have any universities in town here. I do not. But I do have a public library. And a public library does give us the opportunity to end up with some highly educated Sims. It's not the way you want to really rely on doing it. But yeah, so we're going to make sure we get a university. I'm not going to just build this little dinky thing here. It's really small. I mean, this building is supposed to hold, what, 4,500 students. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't seem like a reasonable thing. It's not that big of a building to begin with. So we're going to use the campus DLC and we'll build probably a liberal arts campus. I could go with a trade school. A trade school, liberal arts. I might go with liberal arts. I haven't built one of those, and I think it feels like it fits the more of the small town feel that we want here right now. You know, eventually we'll graduate up to bigger things. But right now, we need more workers to work in the industry, and then we'll have, you know, more going on here. So we're still back in the 19th century. Honestly, I paved all these roads. I should have found an asset on the workshop. I'm gonna have to do that. Find an asset on the workshop and make these cobblestone or something, or brick streets. I think that would be more realistic because they had that technology, but concrete and asphalt streets really weren't common until the 20th century, and even then, not even in the earliest 20th century, because, well, we didn't build that many of them to begin with. But, you know, we really need aggregate to do that. And to build aggregate, we need things like stone crushers. And stone crushers back in the 19th century were human. They had hammers, and usually they wore striped suits, striped clothes, uniforms, I should say, with the horizontal black and white stripes, because they were in prison. It's sort of an old-fashioned joke that lived on for quite a while because that was what they did. In some cases, I believe, they crushed stones. And that was before they had electric machines that, you know, or maybe gasoline-powered machines that, or diesel for that matter, that crush stones, which is what we do now. So, we don't have that, so we're going to continue building gravel roads because, you know, even though those are made of stone, they look like dirt. So, I think the most reasonable place for us to build for this would be somewhere over here on the side of town because that's where the industry is. The other thing, yeah, Yeah, we're just going to go with that. Let's just do that. All right, so let's get our train lines here. And let's figure out where would we decide to build here? Well, we want to be within a reasonable distance to the center of town because that's where the commercial is. And it's, you know, where the government center and all that other fun stuff would be. We've got our services over here, so it makes sense for that reason as well. I think that this street here would probably get continued out. And let's keep it straight here. It's starting to become a little steep, so let's take that off and we'll start curving it. Now, I think what I'll also do, you know, I'm not really sure that this is going to go straight up the hill. This would be pretty steep. Let's just take it out. Looks like we've got 11 units right there. Let's take that out. Let's see with our network multi-tool how steep that really is. Okay, so that's 6.5%. That's not really that bad, so we're gonna go with that. I thought that was a lot steeper than that. 6.5% is totally reasonable. I just want to make sure I don't have any insane grades here. All right, and the other thing I'm gonna do, let's see how far, 5 units. So I'm gonna go about 5 units here. So that road will connect. Yeah, that's fine. It probably would be a little more haphazard than this, but we're just gonna roll with that. Now that's gonna be a park. I think that these streets would probably line up. These will only be 5, that's 6. And the way I'm doing this is so that I end up with my grid not being quite as ugly in the end. All right, how far for the, ooh, 11. So we'll come out. Let's just do 5 right there. And this might be too curved. Or not. No, that looks okay. Oh, maybe just okay. I'm not really happy with the way this looks. It looks a little weird. This road here especially kind of bothers me. So we're gonna go out 5 units that side. And we're gonna go out 10 on this side. And I think it will look a little better. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so that will be a good little residential neighborhood right there. Let's get some water in here. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I want. Okay, and we can fill this one in as well. We're just gonna fill in some of these spots. Now, early in the development of cities, it's reasonable that we would expect, I didn't just fill in the park here, did I? It's reasonable that we would expect that the cities would develop compactly. The land that we could use would get used because you don't want to have a huge long walk. People are on foot. There's a huge misnomer that American cities, everybody got around on horse and buggy. That is not true. Horse and buggy was for people who were wealthy and people who were from rural areas. And the buggies weren't as nice from the rural areas unless the farmers happened to be wealthy. Some farmers did get wealthy. That's not really the case too much anymore. You'd have to be huge in order to be a wealthy farmer anymore. But the bottom line is, most city dwellers kept things simple. They used their feet to get around. And if they were especially wealthy, then maybe they had horses and buggies. So it's kind of a misnomer right there. Okay, so that should take care of that. Now, one of the things that I think we'd also have is we'd have a little more mixed zoning. We don't have a whole lot of that right now. I don't think that it would be reasonable for people all the way over here to walk into the center of town to do as not just bikes would say, buy a bag of milk. Although this is the 19th century, they wouldn't have been bagging milk. They would have been bottling it if they didn't have their own cow at the house. So we're going to put in a few corner stores here, or a few spots. This is part of the game too, that it's kind of a bummer because in the 19th century, we really didn't have Euclidean zoning. Things were very much more mixed zoning. You might have a guy who owns a store and lives on top of that. In a lot of cities, even in the US, it wasn't until I think after World War II that cities decided, hey, you know, we're going to zone and tell people where they can build what. And there were various reasons for that. Some were very dubious reasons. We're not going to get into that too much. That is a piece of history that is definitely not the brightest of American history, but I'll let you read up on that yourself. The bottom line is we do have reasons to put in a few corner stores, a few commercial districts, just so that people won't have to walk. I think it would be reasonable to have a corner store somewhere over here. We have one already. So the corner store, we probably don't even have enough of them. But we're not very dense right now either. I think we're just going to leave that one alone. All right, so that takes care of that. I think those people would be able to walk over here and go to work. I think that some of these businesses in the center of town would probably grow up a little bit more. So it would make sense, and we're going to speed up the clock here a little bit. It makes sense that we would also have some growth over on this side of town, because not everybody's going to want to live over by the smog. So yeah, cemeteries are usually pretty good places to live. I think we'd have a bit of a development over here, and I'm not sure what the grade is going to be over here. Let's try this. I think I'll do, this is just going to be a guide road right there, and we're going to draw this long enough so that I can just move. Is that 4 units? So I guess we'll take that at 7 units then. Just left that alone. All right. Okay, that's a good curve right there. We're gonna follow the contour here. Actually, yeah, like I said, this is a guide road. All right, let's let this go. Let's go out about 11 units from here. Nah, yeah, let's just do 11. That'll give us a guide road here. Now, well, let's check the grade of this here. It is 6.6. I will live with that. That is fine. And I probably want to put in some sort of parallel streets in here. Yeah, let's just go 10 units out. We'll go straight up there. That's kind of weird. I'm okay with it. Not really okay with this right here, though. Yeah, that's good. Let's just a little bit here. And as we build these things through, I want to try to keep the grid square by redrawing roads when I have to. That should work. I'm actually good with that connecting right there to that node. I'm not as crazy. That node will just have to move. Okay, that looks really good. I like this so far. And let me see here. So I don't really think we'd have some divergence right there. A little bit of divergence. All right, let's try doing this. I'm gonna mostly use that as a guide road there too. I'm just spitballing this. I don't really want this to be, I think I want that angle right there. Yeah, let's go with that angle. That's just in case I end up going over that way, but I don't think I'm going to. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so this is diverging a little bit here, just because there's a bit of a grade difference right here. Now I'm going to, yeah, this is working out really nice. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks really good. And I think that would continue. And I think this one here maybe wouldn't go straight up that hill. Yeah, all right, we'll just hang tight with that right there and just fill this in. You know, it makes sense that a landowner might have land on one side of the street and decide to subdivide it out to make a little money, since the land value has increased because of the development of the city. That was a very typical thing. I mean, a lot of things were driven by how close were you to the things that you needed. The closer land was to things, the more valuable it was. That's exactly how things work in Cities Skylines too. Alright, now since we had a little divergence over here, I'm going to branch this water line off over here. It's not quite long enough to reach. I want to do that a little differently. And we'll zone some, you know, I think I want to put a corner store right here. That should do. We'll just fill the rest of this in residential. And I think we could get a store right here. Now, one thing, if you've watched the original More Money, Less Traffic series, you'll notice here is that it takes me a long time, if I'm not going to make a perfect grid here, to really put in these neighborhoods. I can't just slap things down and, oh yeah, that looks red. That looks great. You know, that looks totally good. Sorry if I slur my speech. I sometimes decide I'm going to say it's great, and then I decide, no, it's good, and so it turns out it's GROOD. So, you know, we have neighborhoods that come out. If you want it to look perfect, you know, you want it to not look perfect, you kind of have to do this the slow way, which is usually fine. Now, we don't have any industrial demand. We do have some commercial demand. I think we're going to just keep building out, and I'm going to just fill in more commercial, because oftentimes what would happen is, you know, the city would expand, and as it expanded, you know, more commercial would present itself, because there was more opportunities. I think I'm going to focus on this street right here. Now, this is sort of an interesting street here. I think, you know, it might be a nice main road at some point, and I'd like to, you know, since it sort of plugs into both sides of the square, takes it into the commercial heart of town, I'd sort of like to have this be an interesting area here and sort of independent of everything that's going on around it, but I want it to blend in nicely at the same time. This is oftentimes really tricky to pull off because, yeah, you know, it's not easy to blend these districts in. But I think if we just do something like, yeah, let's do 11 units right here. No, not 11. Yeah, actually, that might work. Yeah, I think we'll do 11. All right, so if we go 11 units on each side, and then how many blocks could we put in here? I think the blocks would be kind of short. I don't think there would be long blocks. Because, you know, you'd put people... There's a couple different philosophies that you could use. You know, you don't want to have too many intersections on a modern street if you're going to have a lot of auto traffic on it. But you don't really want to have long intersections on streets where people are walking, because shorter blocks mean shorter walks. Sort of. You don't want to use a lot of real estate for streets, because then you end up not having as much density for that reason as well. But you want short blocks because then it's just really easy to get to that main street. So we're just going to throw in some short blocks. I'm only going to take it out 11 units here and on either side, and we'll expand on this in a bit here. This is kind of a cool little area here. It's a bit up on a hill. You know, we might actually do short blocks up here, small blocks. Yeah, I really think I dig this so far. Okay, so it gets tricky down here where we're going to want to blend this. And I might, yeah, right here. Okay, so we've got 9 units that we're going to go. You know, let's do 5. And we'll do 5 here. So let's blend this into this street. 4 and 6, maybe we can go 2 units. Will it let me? I don't think it will. Let's see here. Nope. You gotta go at least 3. So let's do 3 units. Whoops. And that should be... No, it's not right. I did that wrong. I'm gonna go 6 here. And up here... 5, 7. That's not gonna work. So let's go... Let's go out 3 units here. 4 and 5. So let's... Not sure I want to do that either. Let's take that up 5 units. There we go. It'll be a little bit of a stronger curve right there, but it will give me that that spacing that I want right here. So we're gonna build short blocks along this road here. I know some of you are probably wondering, why isn't he named the streets yet? Well, that's a good question, but I sort of want to have the town develop a little bit more. I'm getting close to the point where I'm going to name all the streets, and then we'll have a name for some of these things. But right now, these streets don't really go anywhere, hardly. We do finally have, you know, the streets run down towards the port, out to the bridges, and we have some that run along the railroad, one that runs out to Oxbow, that town that we built in our last episode. But I don't have names for streets because, you know, there's not really anything defined hardly in this town. So as that changes, then we can name some of these streets. Probably start naming some of the ones in the middle of town, though. You know, it wasn't really that uncommon of a thing that early towns would start with streets. You know, the streets would have one name, and then over time they would change to some other name. All right, 11. Let's try 8 here. I don't think that's gonna work. Oh, no, that's perfect. Okay, that's what I want. And yeah, let's take that out. No, you know what? We're gonna stay with this. Okay, so I'm gonna build some commercial along here. This will be one of the main streets because we need some commercial. Yeah, we need a lot of commercial actually. Put it on this over here too. That does not take you to the square, so I really don't think that, you know, this road here runs along the outside. I think that would be a good spot for commercial. All right, and we'll run it up here, and then I think we'll stop. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I forgot to add the water. Hey, that's another benefit of having those short blocks. We don't have to worry about building more than one water pipe. And we'll just zone that all the way out here. We'll stop just short. And we'll let that fill in. Oops. So I have another little commercial zone, commercial area right there. Let's make sure I've got water everywhere I need it. That looks like it's a bit of a steep street, but it's probably not too bad. Let's check it out. Oh my. Yeah, that's almost a 10% grade on some parts of that. I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to have a few steep streets. That'll be okay. So that will bring things out quite nicely. Now, we want a university. University is something that's going to need some resources to be able to sustain itself. We need water, we need electricity, those types of things. We're also going to need workers, and we're going to need students. So we want our university to be somewhere close to all of those things. We're also going to need city services like police, fire, etc., healthcare, and death care. So we don't want that to be too far away either. We're looking at not enough workers here. Is that right? Yep, not enough workers. All right, so we have to deal with that. And I think it's really going to help us to have better education set up here. But everything is still pretty walkable. These people over here might even still be able to walk over to work. Now let's see if that's what's happening. Let's check I think the west end is where we have all this. Let me make sure my neighborhoods are set up right. Oh, no, they're not. You know what? I don't have a neighborhood for this, so let's set up a neighborhood here. No, that's a warehouse, so we're good there. We're going to lay this out and have this be an industrial neighborhood so we can tell how many workers are getting into this neighborhood and how they're getting into this neighborhood. We have Cypress Farms. Let's just call it Cypress Heights. Okay, so let's see where everybody is going. Everybody's getting here. So we do have a lot of people coming in on pedestrians and bicyclists. And it looks like some of them are coming over here from the south side. Now let's look at private vehicles here. We do have a few commuting in by car. That's not ideal, so maybe we should build a bit more residential out here, or maybe just build a connection would make sense. Let's check out traffic and see if we've got any trouble spots. No, everything is working pretty well. So, let's see here. I think it would make sense to have the neighborhood over here built up. Yeah, down along this hill. Just so we have some more workers to get to the farms closer by. Yeah. So let's see, how should we take this? Make this happen. About 16 units, about 10 units apart. Still keeping things rather compact. And I'm gonna build a road that comes up here. There we go. That looks really good. And then I think it would be reasonable to have a road come up here. Yeah, I don't think it gets too much better than that. That looks really good. And I think we would probably just go down here too. So we'll build with a grid, but we won't build with a perfect grid here. It'll blend us in here with a nice, you know, it won't look like it's. It'll look a little more organic. That's the word I'm looking. That's what I'm looking to say. All right, now we have a corner store here. I think that we would actually have a whole other commercial district sort of pop up around here, because I think everybody's going to want to walk to work that way. Build this street here through. So let's have it conform a little bit right here. I don't know why, it just feels right. 24 units. 4. Gotta go out here. 20 units. Whoa, 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 whoa. So easy to go off screen. And then have it shift. It doesn't want to show me a guideline. Let's shorten the street here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Alright, so I'm going to do my little trick to get a good solid, you know, S-curve right here. Actually, you know what? I do have a trick for that, but I'm going to try this. I think there is an S-curve reconnection. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, so I want to increase these radii. Oops, that's too. On our meteor. Yeah, I can't talk. Okay, I got 84. Let's try 4. We'll go with 80 meteor radii here. Cool. That's a little easier than my other trick. I do have a trick that lets you do that. So if you're a vanilla player, eventually I want to make a video about that. Show you how to do that without all of that. All right, so yeah, that's kind of a meandery street, but it figures. All right, so let's build a neighborhood. Oh, hey, I just noticed something that I don't like. How did that happen? What did I do? It must be this. Huh, did not realize that. That'll fix it. Slight difference there on that angle, but let's use one of these. Or one of these. Okay, there we go. Let me see if I have my... Okay, that'll work. So now we're starting to see some... Oh, you know what? We're starting to see some rebound of the industrial demand. I'm guessing that, yeah, we've got most of our residentials filled in. We still need a lot of commercial, though. So let's put a little village over here. I think that it makes sense that we would have that about that much. And I don't want to zone. Whoa. Not zoning that side of the street just yet. We'll zone that side though. Let's see how our water. Yeah, water is good. And let's check our education levels here. We need some schools. Yeah, we need a high school. All right, so where do we need a high school? Well, we don't have one out here. I'm not going to worry about Oxbow though. I do want to concern myself out here, closer to downtown. Let's put a high school right over here. And let's check out our fire and police coverage. I'm not real crazy about that, but I'm not too worried about it either. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Healthcare. Yeah, we'll go with that. Right. Oops, I wanted the cemetery. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so now water. We're starting to run low on water. I've got a couple of pumps here. Let's just throw another one in. And I need an outlet. I need sewer treatment. Okay, so we've got inland water treatment plants right here. It wouldn't be very realistic to have water treatment on. Ooh, that's bad. Well, I need to deal with that ASAP. I don't really feel like it would be very realistic to have water treatment plants in the 19th century, but it's a game. We should have enough to be able to take care of all of that. Why don't we? Did I disconnect something? Oh, you know what it is? I have extra capacity out here, but it's not connected. All right, let me connect that to another treatment plant. Now the eco water treatment plant almost takes everything out of the water. Actually, no, maybe it does take everything out of the water. I'm not sure. I'm going to put this downstream, or actually I'm going to put it on a whole other river over here. And I think that tells you about where I'm going to put this university. I need to put it somewhere where there's not a huge cliff though. I think this looks like a good spot. Okay, so let's build a road out to that. Nah, forget it. I'm not going to worry about it that much. We'll just Mickey Mouse this. I'm not going to sweat it too much because we're not even in the 20th century where we're going to really spend a lot of time worrying about purifying wastewater before it goes out into the waterway. This will definitely solve our problem for a good while for sewage treatment here. And I'm gonna build up this hill. That'll do. I'm not worrying about making this perfect. Oh no, part of our park burned down. This is terrible. What was that? A park info booth. All right, well, this is one of the few things I actually like about natural disasters. Well, one of the things I don't like is that the fire coverage is so pathetic that it doesn't get there in time to save everything. So I'm gonna put a disaster response unit in, even though I think this is a completely huge building for a city this size. But I have money. I think I don't need that much money to begin with. It costs $640 a week. We are still banking lots of money, not worrying about it too much. It's a flat enough spot. We'll just slap that baby down right there. They will send out trucks, I believe, to this spot to search for survivors. I hope there wasn't anybody in here when this burned down. Not exactly sure why it burned down in the first place, though. I mean, it's an information booth. I guess they could have a fire, an electrical fire, or a trash fire, or something like that. I don't know. Pretty sure people would be able to get out of that in time. Anyway, at some point that icon will change. Speed this up. There we go. So the icon is now changed. I can just hit rebuild, and then I don't have to rebuild it where I wanted it in the first place. Okay, so that's good. It looks like that neighborhood is filled in, and now we have a huge demand for industry or offices. We have more demand for commercial. Yeah, let's check out and see how our economy is balanced right now. We're importing about 400 and some in goods, exporting no goods. We're exporting forestry and agricultural products. So we could really, and we're exporting a pretty good amount of them. We're really doing pretty well on balancing our economy, but we could use more goods production. Now, in order to do that, there's a couple of ways we can build some generic industry, or we can go with unique factories. One of the things that we would really like to have is things like glass, That one needs oil products. That one needs oil products. Oil is really our big one, but hey, we're still a little early, so I think that it makes more sense that we're going to, you know, a lot of this stuff is really modern anyway. Well, anyway, let's not do unique factories for the moment. Let's find a spot where we can put in some industry. I think that a reasonable place for that would be out here where we already have some. Let's take advantage of the other side of these railroad tracks, or maybe these right here, and we'll zone some industrial. Actually, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna take the zoning off of this street. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see here. And we're gonna disable zoning. That doesn't seem to be working. Oh, that figures. I don't quite get that. I wonder if I have some kind of conflict. Oh, I see. I have to right click, not left click. Okay, so now that will make it so I can get some of these industries to pop up on this side of the road, on this road instead of on this road, which is what I want. And hopefully I have enough people that will walk there. I'm probably not connected quite as closely as I'd like to be. That should take a little bit of a dent out of my industrial demand. All right, so now all those buildings are built up. Let's restore the zoning on the other side here. Okay, so we got zoning back. And yeah, I'm just gonna put some more on this. So at least the traffic will be split up. It won't be quite as likely to block, I don't think, by spreading it along those two streets. It still might not be very pretty though. Okay, so that's working. And we're up to almost 12,000 sims here. We still have some industrial demand. I'd really like to have that met with office though, at least a little bit. But the problem is we don't have a super educated workforce for that. And we probably have higher land value. Yeah, we do. That land value is pretty high right here. So why don't we work on that university? I think we need to just find a good spot here that makes sense or something like that. I kind of think that over here would be good, and that would balance out the side of the city here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's build the university out this way. So the first thing we're going to need in order to build this university is we're going to need a place to put an administration building. I think that we also would be building a neighborhood around this eventually. I think that this whole area here, we'll just dedicate all of that to university, and we'll put some fixings around the outside of that. Now, am I completely unlocked here for liberal arts? Yeah, I am. I don't know how that happened. Well, not too relevant at this point. Okay, so let's see here. Just looking at the terrain here, trying to get an idea of what makes sense. I think that in this neighborhood here, I probably have that administration building. Let's set aside that campus area real quick here. So just have a boundary here with these roads, the river and the railroad. Now, it wasn't uncommon that we would have a university, you know, would have a huge amount of land and then would, you know, get to fill it in over time. So that's what we're going to do here. And I don't know, I don't want to put the administration building down here in a gully. I think that there's definite reason that we would expect that people would be able to take a pretty direct road to get there. Yeah, I think that would do right there. You know, I'm just gonna keep running that straight. No, I'm not. All right, we're gonna start with that, and our administration building right here. All right, that'll start out nicely, and you know, I'm okay with the name Linden. Let's just call it Linden College. Okay, so The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to straighten the road right here. And do I have, no, I don't have any skinny roads. Yeah, we'll fix it in a second here. All right. There, that looks good. Yeah, I'm going to do one more thing here. Okay, now let's get some water down here. All right, we have water close to electricity. We'll have that spread here in a second. I want to just smooth some of this out. I'm just going to destroy that. Take it back down here. That is roadside. Ah, well, that's frustrating. I got another idea. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Thank goodness for undo. Okay, so let's try... that's definitely not what I wanted. Try that. It's a little smaller. I'm trying to be a good little landscape architect here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be successful. Give this a try. And I want to get out here. I want liberal arts path right here. Okay. We're going to build that. We're going to put this right here. Oh, and this has to be by a road. Okay, so that needs to be changed to a road here. Not a problem. Okay, now we have a road. And we'll just plug that in. That looks good. Now where's my node here? Slow that clock down. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Where's my indication? Okay, I think that looks pretty good. All right, let's do some symmetry here and get this to line up on both sides. Let me see how 10, no, it's 12 and 12. Yeah, that's not too bad. I think that looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's not perfectly shaped terrain either. Okay, now let's get the water back up the hill. And I think we can connect this over here. At least that's the plan. Just so I get that perfect 90-degree angle. There we go. Yeah, I think that'll do. Okay, so now we need to build a few buildings to make this university actually do things. Now, what is the first college that we want to build here? I don't need a bookstore. I don't need a media lab, dance club, no. So School of Education. Where do we want to put this? I think it would make sense to put it... Yeah, I think I would put it down here somewhere. Let's do that. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure there's a node on either side of this here. There is. Good, good. And we're going to use node controller. Make it a crossing. Haha. Really make it look a little goofy, I would think, for a gravel road, but it will facilitate what we need. We need to do the same thing here. Now let's extend paths here. Just go out 20 units on both of those. see what our angle is over here. 121.3. Get some symmetry on this side by going at about the same angle. Okay. And we'll put these schools, see what sizes they are. That's the trick with these maps that don't have, you know, perfectly level terrain. It can get tricky to make these make sense. Just a little bit narrow, a little bit smaller than I'd like. I do really like the idea of having that there. About 12 units instead of 10. So if I take that out and I run it the same direction, then the streetlights are on the same side. Little tip. Probably spend a little time perfecting that in a bit here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I have a school of education. Let's get some of the other buildings here. We need dormitories, study halls. Well, I like the idea of having dormitories run along this road right here. I think I do. That's a study hall, groundskeeping, drama club, outdoor study. Hey, where could we fit this? We don't have any room for that right now. Gymnasium, cafeteria. Well, they need some place to eat. Why don't we put that right here? Okay, let's spend a little time terracing some of this a little bit until I get to the right tool here. I think that would be about that level there. Oh, that is quite a hill. Alright, let's see how many of these dormitories will fit through here. We might be able to get a study hall in here. Alright, let's see if the study hall slide in here. That is not bad. It's not as good as I'd like though. Oh, let me move it. Move this down a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll accept that. I think we can get a dormitory up here. Always keen on the way terrain is handled in this game. Let's see if that's enough to get us to level 2. No, not quite. We still need a little bit more. What other buildings could we use here? I do think I want to soften this up a little bit. It's not softening. Oh, we almost have enough students. Yeah, so far, so good. I'm gonna take that out here. I'm gonna put it right here instead. Which isn't gonna look great. Gymnasium would be nice. Let's see if we can smooth this out a little bit. Just a little smaller. And then get a gym over here. Okay, let's get some electricity over here too. That's all connected up. What is it gonna take? Any smaller buildings? Some fountains. Alright, so if I just connect this right here, that should do it. And then we have enough students. Oh, we definitely have enough students. And we have attractive enough campus here. Let me get some water. Cool beans. Alright, so we have the beginning of a trade school right here. Not trade school, liberal arts college. And why do we not have enough police? This is a problem. What is going on here? Do I need another police department? These aren't abandoned because of education's too low. Okay. Why are we having so many police problems? Well, let's build another police department here. I hope that's close enough to water. No, it's not. And we need electricity. That should do right there. Hopefully that will get rid of our police problem. I don't know what's going on that's causing all of that. We need more electricity as well. What kind of electricity we're using right now? Oh, okay, we're gonna build another power plant here. How about we use a solar updraft tower here? It's a pretty good place for it. And we're gonna get rid of these coal power plants. And we're gonna add some more industrial zoning here. We're gonna leave a hole for that street to go through, because I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. That'll allow me to zone a little bit more here. And we're not any land. Okay. There we go. Now we should be in good shape. So let's take a look at our education now. Ooh. We're putting more in the university. We do not have quite as much capacity as we could use. We're about half. As that college is built up, that will change. Wow, we really have a lot of people in this college here. So this is going to level up pretty quick. And we could still use more. Now I don't see any not enough educated workers popping up anymore. That's a good thing. I like the sign. I like that is a good sign for sure. Let's see what our land value did here. It increased significantly. We were up to 19, I believe. Now we're up to 24. Hopefully that police problem is not because I'm out of jail cells or something like that. I usually don't have too much trouble with that. I'm really surprised that happened. Okay, so this is looking like a good start right here. I'm not entirely sure I'm 100% happy with everything I've done here with the university, with this college, but you know, we're gonna try it and just work on it a little bit at a time and change things as we need to. One thing I'm gonna do right now, though, I'm gonna try and slide another dorm right in here. Yeah, there will fit. And like I said, it's not the prettiest thing, but it does work well enough. Hopefully we'll see level 2 pretty soon here. Leveling up a college is not an easy thing. You really have to have a lot of population. You have to have a lot of students ready to run in on your university. It is not easy to strike a balance on all of that. So while we wait for that, why don't we spend a little time trying to extend this rail line? Because the city is definitely growing larger. I would like to be able to access more markets with this. I believe that the business establishment would be on board with that. And we only have one rail line so far. So we can make this go through Reddington, well, around it for the time being, although we're starting to expand out here to the south more, the north, I'm sorry. So let's see if we can extend this rail line a little bit further. Now, one of the other resources I want to get my hands on here, and this is going to happen pretty quick, actually. I think we'll do this in our next episode. I need ore. I've got some right there. That's not the most realistic place to get it. I think this would be. Getting it in the mountains makes a lot of sense to me. That's typically where things like that came from. And that'll allow us to open up more businesses, more manufacturing, and help fill some of that demand. Oh, here we go. We are recognized. And we created a couple of academic works. That's great. Perfect. Let's check out that real quick here. We're getting closer to our capacity needs here. So our next level, we've got enough students probably. we'll need to add some attractiveness here and a couple of academic works. Now, academic works are something that are pretty easy to come up with. I usually don't get lucky enough to get 2 of them all at the same time. Let's see here, we've got music. Let's go with a literature one here. And we're going to add some academic staff. That will increase our odds of coming up with another one of these academic works. And if I'm increasing the staff, and then I also just bought one, basically. How many do I need? I need 2 more, so that's good. Let's see here. Yeah, I can go all the way up to 77%. That's going to cost me quite a lot of money. 56. Yeah, let's do 15. Then we're still positive on income. We have 5 million in the bank. It really isn't going to matter that much. We'll hold off. We'll add that next rail line in the next episode, because I'm gonna make sure we have a spur to go get ore, so we can build our ore industry up in the next episode or 2 here. So let's build more of this campus. I believe we should be able to add another school here. The School of Environmental Studies. This will increase campus attractiveness and require, okay, that's not what I'm looking for. It reduces our garbage accumulation in the city. That would be pretty handy. Let's see if we can get that to fit here somewhere reasonable. I really think that this would be a good spot for it. Let's see what that looks like. I'm not as familiar with that building. Hey, that's not bad. That's really not bad. Okay, let's grade this out. Soften the terrain a bit. Okay, so this spot over here is not the best looking in the first place. Let's not even worry about how good it looks too much here. Let's see if we can fit a study hall in there. Yeah, that would be a little much, I think. We could slap a dorm or 2 over here, though. What else do we have? Got the gymnasium, cafeteria, library. Probably could use a library. Let's build a path that runs across here. Let's try the study hall one more time. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, yeah. Study hall there, the dormitory here. How does the library look? Well, that looks pretty good. I think we'll go with that. Put a pair of statues over here. Uh-oh. That's not how I want that to look. I want it to have symmetry. That's a little better. A little better. Soften this up some. And I think we could use another cafeteria over here. Gotta eat. Okay, now that should be enough to get us to level 3, I hope. Yes, more than enough. We just need 800 students, and we should be in good shape. This is actually a little easier than I thought it was going to be. We still have to get all the way to level 5. That's not easy to achieve, and we definitely don't have the population for that right now. Okay, so, you know, I think I'm going to save extending that railroad out into the next episode. In the meantime, let's see if we can find some spots for industry that makes sense. Now, one of the problems I have here is I'm taking water out right here, but I'm not putting any back in. I don't know if that's such a good idea. We do have a lot of water availability. Maybe I will start taking some water out up here as well. I can do that because this is upstream from my eco water treatment plant. Problem is, it's almost all cliffs along the water line over here. So this river is not ideal for taking water out. Well, let's not worry about that right now then. I would really like to make sure that we don't run out of water down here by the port. But at the same time, it looks like we still have plenty and we're not getting overwhelmed. We are kind of killing our waterfalls over here with our water withdrawal over here. So that's something we have to mind down the road here. But this is looking pretty good. Now, I'd really like to have a neighborhood down here across from the college. I'm not really sure how I want to do that just yet, though. I'm not ready to jump on that just yet. Let's see if there's any other opportunities we have to expand the city here. I think we could add some more industry over here. Let's just line this road right here with a few more factories. And we'll do this one too. Not all the way up there though. Actually, not anywhere near as close to this. I just realized that's all farm country. I would kind of like to keep it from being brown over here in those fields. Could zone some of that though. Maybe that'll satisfy some of our industrial demand. That is something that I would like to take care of over here. I think that it would make sense to have this rail line come over here, and we can have another industrial area over here. We do have a road that goes to the end of the edge of the map over here too, so that's another connection that we could take advantage of. So I think we'll do that. We'll look at doing that in the next episode, but Reddington is growing. It is a little bit bigger than it was before, and I'm noticing a few bigger buildings here in the center of town. Some of these are level 3 here. Let's take a look at our levels map. Oh, we did not make our goal. We lost a bunch of students. That's probably because there was pent-up demand. So hopefully we won't have any struggles trying to just keep up with level 2, I should say. Levels. There we go. Okay, so everything is really dark right here. It looks like we've got level 5 residential through here. And an awful lot of level 3, level 4 as well. So we have a pretty good spread of levels on this. But especially in the center of town where our land value is the highest, we have a whole lot going on. So you know what I'm going to do, since we do have a lot of land value, I'm going to densify a little bit here. I think it would happen right here first. This could probably be a bad idea. It's more of an issue to go too dense with the commercial though. Because if I go too fast with that, then it can require too many educated workers, and I won't have enough. I don't think I'm going to have that problem here. It looks like I'm in pretty good shape. But that's level 1. If it levels up, I'm in trouble, potentially. But yeah, let's try densifying a little bit there and just give that a shot. Okay, that did level up. No, I'm in good shape. I have enough educated people. As long as it won't go to level 3, which I don't think it will. I think I need public transportation, which I'm not quite ready for that. Most of this is walking distance, which, by the way, we were going to check on how people are getting here to work. Let's see if there's anybody driving in. There are a few. And it looks like some of them might just be passing through on their way home from Oxbow, so not necessarily a slam dunk. If we look at pedestrians and cyclists, we see them coming from almost every corner of the city to get to Cypress Heights to go to work. So that's good. That's what we want to see. Yeah, let's look at Linden College. How is everybody getting over here? Pedestrians and cyclists, that's a pretty healthy number. We do have a lot coming in by car though. So that's something that we'll definitely have to work on at some point. We will probably start looking at public transportation pretty soon. I'm just trying to hold off until we can get to the electric streetcar era a little bit, which we're getting pretty close to. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you have questions or thoughts, please share those in the comments. The algorithm loves the engagement. It gets it out to more people. And also come on over to our Discord community if you'd like help with your very own Cities Skylines city. In our next episode, we'll extend our railroad to the east and build coal mines along with a support town for all the workers. I'd like to thank all my supporters on Patreon who enjoy perks like ad-free early and behind-the-scenes access. And of course, I want to thank you for watching. So long!